I'm really, really grateful to be here with you all. I just want to take a little bit of a moment to share with you, share my heart with you, and share a little bit of where we are in this story. I might need that, but I'm going to try not to. You're going to do that. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. Louder. Louder? Oh, goodness. Okay. You know, what we've been through in America as a whole, right, through the previous administration, what we've experienced, what we've just experienced through the pandemic, what we've experienced as a community and as people, teachers and students this past year, I want to acknowledge how powerful what we're doing right now is. A lot of us didn't know this is where we would be right now. A year ago, we didn't know this is the way our life would kind of turn out, but we know that this is always what it's looked like. It's always been us looking out for each other. We've always had to supplement and survive in the wake of really poor legislation and disconnected state house. And so I am really, really happy to be a part of the beginning of what it looks like when people organize on behalf of themselves and on behalf of their neighbors. And that is exactly what we're doing. So I just wanted to center us in where we are in history, where we are in our personal experience after what we've just gone through. And I just wanted to share one thing, if that's okay, something that kind of helped inspired me. I know this is supposed to be a rah-rah moment, but this is something, a book that I was reading called Hope in the Dark. And I think we're also, the reason why this is important to me is because we're in a really serious fight with people that say it's not possible. With people that say this is not how it's done and you need to play a political game a certain way. And let's remember that certain way is a political game where the goalpost keeps moving and we keep losing. Yep. And we're not playing that game anymore. Imagine the world as a theater. The acts of the power and the official occupy center stage. The traditional version of history, the conventional sources of news encourage us to fix our gaze on the stage. The limelight are so bright, and they blind you to the shadowy spaces around you. They make it hard to meet the gaze of the other people in the seats, to see the way out into the audience and into the aisles, backstage and outdoors, in the dark, where other powers are at work. A lot of fate of the world is decided on this stage, in the limelight, and the actors there will tell you that they are all that there is no other place beside them. No matter the details or the outcome, what is on stage is a tragedy of inequitable distribution of power, the tragedy of too common silence for those who settle for being the audience and pay the price of watching their drama. The idea behind representative democracy is that the audience is supposed to choose the actors. The actors are quite literally supposed to speak for us. In practice, various reasons keep many of them from participating in that choice. Other forces like money subvert that choice, and on stage, too many of the actors find other reasons: lobbyists, self-interest, conformity, obeying leadership, to fail to represent their constituents. This means, of course, the most foundational change of all, the one from which all else is issued, is the hardest to track. It means that politics arise out of the spread of ideas and the shaping of imagination. It means that the symbolic and the cultural acts have real political power. And it means that the changes that take place not merely on the stage, as an action, but in the minds of us, in the minds of those who are again and again pictured only as audience, only as bystanders. The revolution that counts is the one that takes place in imagination first. Many kinds of change issue thereafter, some gradual, some subtle, some dramatic, and some conflict-ridden, which is to say the revolution doesn't necessarily look like a revolution. This is my own words now. What previously disqualified us from the stage, from seats of power, now qualifies us. Now qualifies us to participate in a revolution. Before we can act, we must believe. And before we believe, we must imagine. watch out for imagination killers, because this will be our most important pivot in politics. Ready? There are imagination killers, and the most important pivot we will ever do in politics is when they say I can't, we pivot to the I will. We will. When they tell us that it's vicious and hateful and mudslinging, we will pivot to dignifying humanity and exposing those who don't. When they give us a scarcity mindset, we will pivot to radical sharing. When they give us pander to power, we will pivot to people power. The stage, the center stage, the people in power, the ones in spotlight that want us to believe that they are all that there is, we will pivot. The revolution is a collected pivot. It is interrupting the show and turning our backs on the stage and pulling the curtain back and flipping the lights on and applauding each other, the people in the shadows.